Okay, guys. So we have completed enterprise structure, chart of accounts, ledger creation, all these things. So now coming on to general ledger, GL module, which is the heart, master module. So today we are going to see some very important setups which are related to GL, exclusively for GL, which high level we see its source, category, dynamic insertion and code combination, cross-validation rules, security rules, right? So most likely we are going to cover all these today. Apart from this, we also have hierarchies. Rest we will see. And when it comes to advanced, configuration or setups or processes, so we have revaluation, we have translation, we have consolidation. So these we are going to cover in the advanced GL concepts, not today. Okay. So first of all, let's see about journal. So how a creation of a journal will require all these setups that we are going to correlate, we are going to map. So I think accounting is the most important thing. So when we say accounting, which means we have accounting entries, or we can say general accounting entry. Journal entry, general accounting entry, accounting entry, one and the same thing. So in Oracle, for any accounting, for any journal entry, basically there are three parts: batch, header, and line. Okay, I will show you on the screen also so that you are able to map. Now, this is not a setup. So I'm not going to go into setup and maintenance. I will go into general accounting journals. So this is basically a transactional part. Okay. So this is the dashboard. Here we can see the status of respective journals. Create journal. System is a bit slow. Now this is the form for journal, right? So if you see in the data access set, it is US primary ledger, which means this journal which we are going to create, this is for GS primary ledger. Okay. Now, if we see, there are three parts: batch, this is header, and this is lines. Batch, header, and lines. So what exactly the batch? Now, batch is basically a group. For example, there could be multiple journals. There could be 5, 10, 15, 20, or hundreds of journals. So batch is basically a group of journals, right? So if there are multiple journals in a batch, you can see the control total and other controls you can see at the batch level. So basically batch is nothing but a group of journals, right? Now what is a header? Header is basically when we are going to give some high level information. High level information could be source. Now what is source? Now this accounting entry or journal which we are going to create in the system, now this is going to be a manual accounting entry or manual journal. Most of the times these accounting entries will be coming from our sub ledgers. Okay, payables, receivables, order management, inventory, fixed assets, cash management. So all these sub ledgers, they will pump the accounting entries into GL. So there's a process we will see, and you can import all the accounting entries into GL. Apart from that, you can also create a manual accounting entry, which can only be possible in general ledger module. Okay. So don't get confused. This form is for manual accounting entries journal. So the same ways, if an accounting entry is coming from payables, the source is going to be payables. Accounting entry is coming from receivables, the source will be receivables. All right. So we can also create our own custom source. For example, we can create a source, let's say RAL adjustment. So we will see that. Okay, so source is basically the origin of an accounting entry. From what is the source, what is the origin, which could be manual or which could be subledger. Category. Now, what is category? Category is basically, for example, in payables, again, you have accounting entry, let's say for purchasing, for payment. So like this, you are categorizing your accounting entry. In fixed assets, there could be an accounting entry for depreciation. Another could be for addition of asset, right? So we have multiple categories for a source. So source could be payables and there could be multiple categories for that source. Same ways in manual also you can create for adjustment, for accruals like this, you can have multiple categories. So categories and source, you can create your own also. We are going to see that. So each and every journal accounting entry is having a source and a category. This is mandatory. And this is at the header level. Then you have period. Most important. Now this accounting entry is for which period? For example, now August is going on. So if we are going to create a accounting entry, it will be for August 23. Right? So period is very, very important. It will decide that this accounting entry will be posted for which period. And it will hit all the respective, reports for that period. Another important thing at the header level is your exchange rate. So one is your functional currency, and then another is your foreign currency. Okay. So if your accounting entry, accounting journal is in the functional currency, then there is no need of exchange rate. This functional currency is coming from your third C. We have created a ledger, chart of account. In ledger, we have 4 Cs, if you remember. Chart of account, currency, calendar, and accounting convention. So our functional currency is coming from our currency, which we have defined in our ledger. Now, let's say our currency is USD, but we have to create a journal in GBP. So in that case, we have to provide the exchange rate. So in case the accounting entry is in foreign currency, we have to provide the exchange rate. Okay. So this is high level about header. In lines, we have 2 lines, debit and credit. I mean, you all are finance guys. I think you all know about debit and credit. So debit and credit amount has to be same. It has to be equal. If your debit line and credit line amount is not equal, system will not post. In case your suspense accounting is enabled, in that case, the difference will be posted in your suspense account. If suspense account is not enabled, accounting is not enabled, then the system will not allow you to post that accounting journal if debit and credit lines are not equal. All right. So I will again summarize. We have a batch, we have a header, and we have line. There are 3 parts of any accounting entry or accounting journal. Okay. At the header level, we have source, categories, period, exchange rate, these type of information. In lines, we have debit and credit lines. Batch is nothing but a group of journals. So that is called batch. I mean, a lot of people are joining right now. Okay, so this is about journal. Now, when we create a journal, first of all, that journal is completed. Then if you want, you can submit it for the approval process, and then that journal will be posted. Now, there's a difference. when we say that accounting entry is posted, which means now actually this accounting entry will hit the GL balances. And once it hit the GL balances, then basically it will be part of your trial balance. Look, I will now create the complete flow. Now what happens? There are multiple subledgers. Okay, let me show you. Now what is happening? Let's say here we have payables. Here we have receivables. Here we have fixed asset module. Here we have cash management. Okay. Here we have order management, procurement. Now all these modules, sub-modules, they are sending data to GL interface. From here, the accounting entries will go to GL interface. So like we can have like this. You know, for all these subledgers, they will go to GL interface. Okay. Now from GL interface, this data we can import. Okay. Now, once we import it, so then it will come into this form, GLJ batches, header and lines, which is this. Still, it is not posted. It is in the GL, general ledger. Then we can run the post program. Okay, post. And once it is post and the status change to posted, it will hit your GL balances. GL balances is your GL base tables. From GL balances, now you can extract the trial balance for that particular period. And from trial balance, automatically, all your reports which you can create as per the requirement, P&L, balance sheet, and other reports, you can create. So this will be the flow. Okay, I think there are 2-3 people who have just joined. So I just again summarize. These are all my subledgers. Okay, payable, receivables, assets, cash, order management, procurement. Like this, we have other some modules also. So all these sub modules, they have accounting entries. So from all these sub modules, all the accounting entries will go to GL interface. There the validation will happen. From GL interface, we will run the import program. Okay, this import program will bring all the GL accounting entries into these tables, J batches, GL, J header lines, then post, and it will hit the GL balances. From GL balances, we can extract the trial balance, and we can create a lot of reports like profit and loss balance sheets through in EBS, we have FSG tool. In cloud, we have FRS. Okay. Now let's see accounting entry in system. So basically, this is the form for journal. Now this is my journal batch, like we discussed. So let's say I give it test journal batch. Okay. Description. Now this accounting period is very, very important. This accounting period is coming because this is an open accounting period. 08/23, August 23 is open. That is the reason we can create an accounting entry for this period. If this is not open, this will not reflect here. If I see now all these periods which are coming, these are all my open periods. If they are not open, we have to open them in the system. I will show you that also. Now, guys, you have to be very, very careful. Actually, in real environment, you don't have so many periods open, because in that case, any user can create this accounting entry for any other period. So generally only and only the current month, and sometimes your next month is open, and that also in the future enterable status, that also we are going to discuss. Okay, so this is now my open accounting period, and that is the reason I can create this accounting entry in this period. Test. This is my batch. Source is manual. Let's say if some accounting entry is coming from payables, so here the source is going to be payables. If receivables is the source, then automatically the source will be payables. Now batch status is unposted because we haven't posted it, and this is still incomplete. This incomplete, complete, approve, approved, post, posted. Okay, so this is my header. Now the second part is our journal. Test journal. So I can have multiple journals under this batch. So this is the funda of batch. Like I said, basically in batch is a group wherein you can have multiple accounting entries under that batch. So this is our ledger for which we are creating this journal. Now this is today's date, accounting date. So this date is coming under this period. Okay. So if we see, this is my source and this is my category. So category. So for manual, we can choose any accounting, any category. You can see over here, or we can create as per the requirement. We can create also a category. Now this is my currency. This is my functional currency. If I change it, then this journal will be in foreign currency, and then we have to provide an exchange rate. So here the exchange rate will come. So right now, this is the functional currency. So there is no exchange rate. Okay. Batch, header, and now we have lines. So in line, we have to provide our accounting code combination. Okay, so here we have all these different segments: company, LOB, line of business, account, cost center, product, intercompany. Okay. So if I click on search, it will give me the list of code combinations which already exist, wherein these values are there. If I click on search, like these are already there, these code combinations. So I can select, for example. Now, I will tell you something very, very important, guys. Look, we have two options. Either we can create any code combination on the fly. Let's say this is an already created code combination, and let's say if I provide some other account, 101.10. Like this. So let's say if I provide this account and I click on OK. Now this code combination is a new code combination. This has never been used before. So for this also, there is an accounting setup, which actually in our last session, we saw that, but just to emphasize again. So now what we are doing, we are creating a new code combination on the fly. But there would be a requirement that a company will say that I want only code combinations which are already existed. We want to have a control. We don't want the users to create any code combination on the fly. In that case, you can only and only use those accounting code combinations which are already existed in the code combination window. I am going to show you that. But try to understand what I'm saying. If there's a small checkbox, we have seen that when we were creating the chart of accounts. I'm going to show you that again. If that checkbox is not enabled, you can't create. If that is enabled, you can create any code combination on the fly. Okay, we will see that. let's say 1,000. So this is my debit account. So if I click on areas means by this name, there's an accounting code combination. All right. You can some frequent used code combinations can be given a name. Let's say I give it 500. So debit and credit has to be equal. If it is not equal, the system will not allow to post it. And I will again say this thing that if suspense accounting is enabled, in that case, the difference will go into the suspense account. If it is not enabled, then system will not allow you to post this accounting entry. Okay. So this structure is coming because in US primary ledger, we have used a chart of account which is having all these segments and values. All right. So from this ledger, it is picking the chart of account, and from that chart of account, it is picking up the segments and values. System is a little slow. Batch, header, and then we have lines. So it is taking a few minutes anyways. Okay, so I believe now you are clear on this thing. We have three parts: batch, header, and lines. And these are the respective setups: source, category, period, exchange rate. And once we create an accounting entry, we will complete. If required, we can approve, we can submit it, and it will go in the approval process, and then it can be posted. So once it is posted, it will hit the GL balances, and then we can create all the GL reports basis this. Okay. Now the other thing is, which is very, very important, that is type of periods. I think we discussed on this, but today we are going to see what are the different statuses of periods and how we open a period for GL or other submodules. So basically we have five different statuses. Let's say this is August 23. This is one of the period. Now, if August 23 is open, try to understand, if it is open, then only we can create and post an accounting entry. Create plus post accounting entry only for the open period. Okay. Now, if a period is closed, you can't create, neither you can create nor you can post. But you can open a close period. You can open a close period, and then only you can create and post accounting entry. Okay. But permanently closed is which can't be open. So that is the difference between permanently closed and close. Now, how it happens in the business scenario. Let's say last year in March 22, we closed our March, and then we opened our April next financial year. And for next 15 days or maybe 1 month, it was an audit. And in the final audit, we got some adjustment accounting entries, and we posted those accounting entries in our adjustment period. And finally, when the finance said that now we are fine to go ahead, we can actually close our 22 periods, and there is no requirement to open it again, then only we are going to change the status from closed to permanently closed. Permanently closed means now these periods can't be open. So this is something very, very, very important. So without the business giving a go-ahead green signal, you can't permanently close a period, because then this can be open. This can't be open. Never opened is, for example, you have a period, let's say December 23. This is the future period. So this is still there, but it is in the never open status. So you will open this never open status. You will change this never open to open, and then you can create and post accounting entry. So in never opened also, neither you can create nor you can post your accounting entry. So these are my future, periods basically. Then you have your future enterable. Now, what is future enterable? Let's say September 23. So in future enterable, you can create, but can't post. Which means, let's say there's a business requirement wherein they want that the next month we need to create some accounting entries. Okay, but we don't want the users to post them. So in that case, you can make that period future enterable. You can create accounting entries, but you can't post it. Once that period is open, then only you can post. So that is the difference between future enterable and open. I believe now this is clear. Okay. So here we have a 500 line and 1000 line. So either we have to make it 500, 500 or 1000, 1000. So now this is 1000, right? So now we have all three parts: batch, header, and line. Okay. So now we will complete. Okay. And now we can post. Now the status is complete. This is unposted. Complete and unposted. So now a program will run, and then the status will be, if everything is fine, the system will validate all the things. And then this is the program, this is the process which will trigger. Okay, now batch status is selected for posting, and once the program is completed, it will be in the posted status. So this is about accounting entry or journal. Okay. Now, if I go to setup and maintenance, we will again come to this screen, this form. Okay. So here in financials offerings, we have GL and financial reporting structure. Okay. If we click on financial reporting, let's just have a recap on the different setups we have. Okay, in financial reporting structure, if we see all the tasks, this we have seen: chart of account value sets, chart of account structure. I want to show you that checkbox for code combination, which is again very important. General ledger. Manage structure. this is all my structures are there. Right. So these are my segments. Instances. So this is my counting flex field. We have that. Okay, this is ours. Okay, search. Okay, if you see, guys, this dynamic combination creation allowed. This checkbox is very, very important. If this checkbox is enabled, which means I can create any combination, code combination on the fly. If this is, if I, let's say, if now this is not enabled, now what will happen now? So there is a form I will show you after this, wherein we have to create all those code combinations which our users are going to use. Okay, so there's a huge difference now. Let's say if there is a company, so basically there are two combinations. I will to make these are industry scenarios which I'm going to explain. One is your dynamic combination creation allowed. Dynamic combination allowed. So the name was different in EBS. So now we have dynamic combination allowed, which means we can create any code combination on the fly. Okay, but if it is not allowed, if dynamic combination not allowed, now what happens? We can use only predefined code combinations. Okay. Now these predefined code combinations are in code combination form. I will show you that. Now what happens if this is a scenario, dynamic combination allowed? Now what is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is that a user can create a code combination which is not pertinent, or which doesn't make sense, or which the company doesn't want to use that combinations. But because now this is allowed, this is enabled, so there are chances that user can create that code combination. Again, I will show you how. And for this, to prohibit this, to stop this, we have a funda of cross-validation rules. Cross-validation rules, or CVR. CVR. Now, how it works, I will show you. Let's say we have country, we have state, and we have district. Okay. In country, we have India, we have Pakistan, we have US. Hypothetical. Okay. In state, we have, let's say, UP. In Pakistan, we have Sindh. And let's say for US, we have California. Okay. In district, let's say we have Noida. Here we have Karachi. And here again we have California, right? So can we use this combination, India dot Sindh dot California? Does it make sense? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Yes. Okay. So now, which means we don't want this code combination. We want always India. With India, it always be UP and then it should be Noida. So one thing is we can have this code combination in our code combination form here. We can have US dot California dot California. This is also a valid code combination. So we can have this thing also in this form, right? And then these code combination any user can use. Now, this is for this situation. If dynamic combination not allowed, but we are saying that it is allowed. Now, what we can do, we will create a cross validation rule, which will say that whenever there is India, the state should always be UP. Or when India is there, it should never be Sindh or California. Never be. So this is called cross validation rules, wherein we are basically saying that the segment combinations which we don't want should not be used in the system. So let's say now in the real time, we can have company, we can have cost center, we can have account. So here we can have, let's say 100, 200, we can have 300. Here we can have like this. Okay. In account, we can have right. So we can have a cross validation rule wherein we will say that whenever there is a company 100, okay, then with company 100, cost center 1001 and 10,002 should be prohibited. Only and only with 100, 10,003 cost center should be used. So this we can do in our cross validation CVR rules. We can create a CVR rule which will create a rule which will, I will show you on the system how we can create this. And then the system, the moment you will create this code combination, the system will stop you. It will give you an error that you can't create this code combination because of this CVR rule. Okay. So whenever there's an implementation, this is very, very important. Either a company will say that this dynamic combination should not be allowed. In that case, we have this code combination window. I will show you that. It's a small thing, code combination form. So here we have all our hierarchies. Either here we have cross-validation rules. We're going to see that as well. Manage account code combinations. Okay. So let's say if we have US chart of accounts. Just wanted to see. Okay, now these are already, they have created. So let's create a new one. It's a bit slow. US chart of accounts. Okay, my goodness. I'm thinking about cross validation rules and have opened account combination. Okay, now this is very simple. Okay, now what is happening in manage account combinations? If you see, if I click on search, all the code combinations are there. Now let's say if we provide account value, so this will be a new code combination. Let's say I provided this. Okay, now any user can use this code combination 101.10.112.00.0000000. So this combination we have created in our code combination window. All right. So let's say now how it happens in the real scenario. So I will tell you actually how it happens. So let's say one of your finance user, that person will say, ki, now we have a new type of expense, that is legal expense. And we have a code combination this for this. Okay. And I have to book an invoice wherein I have to use this expense account. And my code combination is going to be this, and then this, for example, this. So please create this code combination in GL so that I can use it. So then his requirement or her requirement will be approved by the manager. And once it is approved, then the concerned person in GL, general ledger, that person will create this code combination in this form. Right? So once it is created here, then only it can be used in the other modules and in the GL module. Okay, got it? So if I click on search now, it will show me all the code combinations which are there. Okay, let me. So now if we see, now these code combinations are already there in the system. It's a huge list actually. You know, you will go and go. So anyone can use the code combination which is already there. 101.10.60540 cost center is 120, product intercompany like this. So these are already there, you can use it. But if there is a new requirement, then you have to create the new code combination in this form. You have to save it, and then only that combination can be used in your sub modules and GL module, right? And this is the condition when if dynamic code combination is not allowed. If it is allowed, then your CVR rules will come into picture. I hope you all are clear on this. So this is the form for manage account combinations. And for cross validation rules, CVR rules, we will see how to create a CVR rule. So I have given you a very good example. So whenever there is CVR, just think like this: country, state, and district. So let's say again, we will pick US chart of accounts. Okay. So let's say we want to create a new CVR. Okay. So we will say like RAL test. So these are already created. I created them yesterday. RAL test. So let's say when company is this, cost center should be, we will see. Okay. So here in the details section, we have to pick, like, now we have all these segments as per the chart of account we have chosen. This is for US chart of account. If I'm saying company, I will choose company segment. So here we have lots of options. Okay. As per the requirement or design, we can choose. So I will say company is, let's say, 101. So now I can put when company is 101. Now this is my cost center. So my cost center should be 110. Okay, should be 110. So there are lots of methods. You can use different type of string values. You can have a range. There are lots of things. So I'm creating a very simple CBR rule. So whenever this is the company, the cost center should be this. Okay, and I can put it in my error message, and I'm going to save it. So now this is created. So if we are going to create a accounting entry, and if that accounting entry, we are going to choose an account combination, which is not going by this CBR rule, the system will throw an error. Okay, we will see that also. Right. Okay, so what else we have? Now, cross validation rules. This is our chart of account hierarchies. We will see. Let's see about source and category. So in GL, all task. Okay. Ledger set status. So this is my suspense account. If you want to create a suspense account, we discussed on this. So here we have managed general source and managed general categories. Okay. So now there's a list of all the sources which are there in the system, and if we want, we can create a new one. Let's say if we create a RAL journals source. Now, what is this free journal? Free journal is like, for example, if your journal is coming from your some module, let's say payables, and we don't want that anyone should make any change in that accounting entry when it is imported in GL. So we will say yes, which means now we can't make any changes in that accounting. So if we are saying no, which means now you can manipulate, you can make changes in that journal accounting entry. Accounting roll date is related to your effective date. That is fine. System will automatically push the accounting date, effective date into that rule. Okay. So others are fine. So that's it. Now we have a general source. Then we have general categories. I mean, these are small things, but still important. So here again, we can have, categories, RAL, general category. Right? Exclude from manual journal entry. I mean, this is self-explanatory. Save and close. So now this categories and source you can use when you're creating your manual journal. Journal approval rules. Okay, just for the information, all our approval related hierarchies and rules in Oracle Cloud, so they have a different mechanism for it now. That is called BPM, Business Process Management. I mean, just for the information, if you will see, the BPM page will open now. So be it procurement or payables or GL or any module, if you want to create approval hierarchies, approval mechanism, you can use this BPM. So we are going to cover it later. This is again very, very important. How to use BPM for the approval hierarchies. So same for GL. If you want to create your journal approval rules, you can use BPM, business process management. Auto post criteria, if you want to create rules for your auto posting. Reversal. Now, what is reversal? Okay, let's say if we again go to that GL. General accounting. Okay, so here we have journals. Right? Okay, let's say manage journal. Say if I say test search. So this was the accounting and accounting journal which we just created. Okay. Test journal. I think there are some secondary ledgers associated with this primary ledger. That is the reason it is saying this. Okay. Now, this is a journal in accounting period 0823. Now, if you want, you can reverse also. So it is showing that this period is not open. So we will see how to open, close, and other strategies of the period. So now this accounting entry, if we want, we can reverse also. Now, what is the meaning of reversal? Let's say by mistake, someone has created, or for the adjustment purpose, you want to take the opposite impact in the system. So simply you can reverse your accounting entry. Okay. So period you have to choose. Once it is posted, then only what we will do. Now this is the error which is coming because of the secondary ledger. Let's do one thing. Let's see the periods, and then we will see the reversal. If we see here, we have period close. This icon, period close. Okay, so if I this period close, now for this period, August 23, for this ledger, it will show all my submodule status for that period and the GL. GL is saying open. So August 23 for this ledger is open. For receivables also it is open. For costing also it is open, right? For projects, it is future enterable, which means you can create but can't post. For payables, it is open. For assets, it is never opened. Okay, never opened. So once we open it, the status will change to open. So in period close form, you can see the status, and as per the requirement, you can change the status. Let's say if I click on General Ledger open. Now it is showing me all the different periods. 0923. 0923 is, this is the icon for open, and this is for future enterable. So I told you future entrables means you can create an accounting entry, but you can't post it. So these are all my open periods here. If I click here, let's say this is April 23. Let's say I have clicked here. If I click on close, now a program will run. It is saying that other periods for other modules are open. You want to continue? I will say yes. April 23 period. Now again, a process will run, And if it is successfully completed, the status will convert to close. Now this has been submitted. So probably now how to see this? Again, something very, very important. Okay. So guys, in tools, we have scheduled processes here. If you click on scheduled processes, it will show you the form wherein you can run all your reports and processes from here. If you want to run any new program or report from any of the module, you can click over here and you can run that. Plus, like all these programs for period closer, open, you can see over here. So scheduled processes is the form wherein all the programs and reports related stuff you can do. All your seeded reports can be run from here for all the respective modules. Okay, fine. So when it comes to periods, we have open, close, never opened, future enterable, and permanently closed. So these all statuses are for GL, and open, close, and never opened are for the sub-legend modules, future enterable also. I mean, for payables, receivables, procurement, all the modules also, the same thing is applicable. So periods are for GL and for the sub-modules. I think you're clear on this. Don't get confused. We have periods for GL also, which is the most important period. Because eventually, let's say if you have closed your payables, okay, let's say you have changed the status of your payable period from open to close, right? So still accounting entry for payables can be done from GL, manual accounting entry. So GL is closed when all your sub-modules are closed. So the sequence is generally, I mean, again, this will be a little complex. For generally, we have like procurement period is open, is closed first, then our fixed asset, then our payables, then receivables. Generally, there is no hard and fast rule, but generally this sequence is followed. And eventually, once all the sub-modules periods are closed, then your GL period is closed. Okay, so here also you have statuses for the respective periods, and here also you have statuses for the respective periods. What else? Rahul, anything else we can add for today?
Yeah, I think that's from the transactional point of view, GL transactions and all. I think we are done. Yes, there are a couple of topics, security rule and all we will take later on, because those we can demonstrate in the next class.
Yes, right. So I
Yeah.
think for today it is fine. Guys, if you have any question for this session or for the previous sessions, please feel free. You can ask right now. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, so let's connect on the coming weekend. We will try to conduct a class on Saturday also. We will try. So we will confirm by Thursday, Friday. So Sunday class is bound to be there, but for Saturday, we are going to confirm you. Okay.
So I believe most of you now are following the LinkedIn page, right, to get these information.
Yes.
Is there anyone who is not in the looking into the LinkedIn pages of RAL?
So guys, please follow the LinkedIn, because there we put the statuses for the coming classes. Okay, so you will get the information from there. Okay, fine. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Manish.
Thank you.